Mm. Hello, family. My people. Those who have tuned in today. Yes, here we go. No more holding back. Trying to explain what we in. We don't want to be responsible. Still, we must know what's going on around us. I want more company. I would like more to be aware of where we at right now. Because we don't seem to see. Kind of too satisfied, too comfortable. Didn't have stories. Boy, do we got stories. Just us. Today I'm going to talk about a complicated subject many will get offended by, called God. I've discussed this before. God. Microcosmic, macrocosmic. We're talking about the cosmic consciousness. The Christ. We're talking about the cosmic consciousness of Heru. We're talking about our particular view or scope of Horus. That's Heru. And we simply have the name changed to the Christ. Okay, the stuff has to be studied to recognize in order to realize that the Christ is cosmic consciousness. This cosmic consciousness is divine. When we are divine, then we are able to be guided by our elevated mind, elevated mentality, elemental. Religions call them archangels, basically archangels of light from the sun, the only sun, S-U-N, the only sun. Just us are fooled with this Jesus complex. Oh yeah, it's truth in it. That's how it's used. However, we must recognize that all law is all elemental law. that we must know in order to follow this law our way. Yahweh. The law Yahweh. This is I self, law, and mastery. To be able to have the higher energy seated in your soul, in your heart, in your mind, you must become divine. This is the first sign of awakening to your spiritual mind. We have what is called a double nature, one which is us. That's basically who we are, the lower nature. We call it the self, the double nature, called our devil, bedevil, Satan, this nature, loose and far from the original source of cosmic consciousness. We must know these laws in order to follow them, therefore be guided by them, and this is our God is a guide of self-knowledge known to be nature, Mother Nature, called Neter, the Neteru, from ancient Kemet. We must follow and really study his story to get my story, our story, mystery, to be able to see, because doubt will remove this like clouds in the sky. You can't even see or know how or wonder why that we are terrestrial and celestial. And the terrestrial is the selfish nature of the earth, animal nature, me. The celestial is the selfless nature from the stars, beyond our concepts to give images to. So we are confused with outdated religions that were true and pure when they first arrived, as some high priest or artiste brought these religions to us for us to profit from. Since this time, it's been tampering and tempering from us, the lower self, loose and far from our original nature. We have compromised the truth that would guide us, then gave it an image calling it God, and then relinquishing our responsibility to follow our unique guidance of the one cosmic mind that collectively holds us all, the all. You must be hermetically sealed from pretty much all to find the all. You must go into yourself to find your wealth. The male must know her, she must know him within self to be divinity. Then we are both come together, both archetypes come together and create the child. And the child is divinity. Neither, but able to learn and trust the highest form of knowledge called magic. We tend to think, but our thought has come from a mind given to us. We have never regained the natural mind of our ancestors, people. I don't know, I'm saying this again because I think it goes over our head. We have never regained, remembered ourselves. We still have the mind of the slave, walking around with crosses hanging around our necks like a grave, think in some way that we have been saved. We need to stop being comfortable with these tricks. because the pale male's heaven is our hell. Our heaven is his hell. That's why we helped him put us under this spell. Okay? Because we got red and white. Everybody don't see the same. Everybody ain't the same. Some of these pale white people think they pale, extraterrestrial, but they cousins with human nature and consciousness about them. But there are others. There are others who are basically not from here. Maybe too much for us to understand what I'm trying to say. We have what we call the reptilian mind, calcified pineal gland, no third eye. There's absence of compassion. They are not human. Then you have the red that look like them and they blend right in with them and think it's okay, and we call them white people. We think they're all the same. Some of them don't even know who they are. I've been a few places, folks. These little devils we got running around in the United States or Europe are not all over the world. You know, you go to Canada, Norway or something, those white people over there can't stand these white people. So know your allies. Know your consciousness. But it is true, you have many over here brainwashed to destroy you. Because anything you got takes from what they have. So you having things right because you're the original people. Now you're in hell, thinking you're going to die and go there. Well, guess what? You are dead consciously. That's why you're there. Your death is conscious. Your death is economical. That's why you in hell. Under a spell, can't think too well. Don't realize we have fell. And we still fall each day. So trying to do things our own individual way. Don't know our collective way of existing that makes us rise on one mission. Don't realize our children are here for us to teach so they can listen. And then they can grow up and change this messed up condition. No. We are compromised. We listen to lies. Sit back and look at each other and despise. Most of us just live and walk in lies. I had a friend tell me that she wanted me to listen to something about Jesus. And I was like, are you kidding? Just us? Don't you know I'm Jesus? You Jesus? Don't you know Jesus is the lower nature, the terrestrial nature? We call the double nature, the second self, Satan, Lucifer, from the original nature? Stop playing with me. You don't know the Christ, the difference between the Christ and Jesus? You don't know the Christ is Heru, the cosmic consciousness? That recognizes all law? To follow a Yahweh? This is the spell we exist in today. So we're consciously and economically in hell. Damn it, you can't see we fell? Why are we on the bottom and somebody else on the top? And we waiting for somebody to come save us, right? Please, people. I'm not going to take a whole lot of time today because there's a lot of things else that have to be looked at and looked upon. But I got to make sure that I'm not in my own way because I know me, myself, can be loose and far from my highest nature. I can be selfish, thinking only of myself, if I don't know the laws of nature. I can tell my children to wait on someone. They coming so they can be lazy and irresponsible. We must teach our children how to grow and battle the situation we in. And we definitely need the earth of consciousness, circumspection, responsibility, respect, prudence. We must teach our children, okay? Because tough love has been missing. That's why we stay in this messed up condition. Our mothers are compromised, looking at us with the government's eyes. They are our highest form, turning us over to the government is the norm, telling us that this government ordinance and departing from our divine mind is a God. And we too scared to question this fake facade. The truth is somewhere in there. But we just want to be comfortable and do better than one another. That's what we like. So it's more work we must do to make sure we're not in our own way. We must know Yahweh, all laws. We must know these things. And you must lose this mind to gain the real mind. In order to get the Israelite, you must lose this matrix mind you have. But it's a narrow road, hard for each person to find, because it takes a lot of courage to break away from everything that you're so comfortable with. So, good luck.